Hey Julie, thanks for taking the time out of studying to meet up with me today to tell me more about SUNY optometry. Can you introduce yourself?
Hey everyone, my name is Julie Song. I'm the first year class president of 2022 and I'm really excited to tell you about SUNY today.
Where are you from?
I'm from Tempe, Arizona. I know it's a long ways away. And then I went to undergrad in Tucson, Arizona at the University of Arizona. Oh, Grand.
What was it like to move here?
It was a little bit stressful, I'm not gonna lie. The planes on the way here was kind of difficult, but I lugged 5 suitcases across the country and made it over here.
How did you buy everything you needed for your apartment?
Some of it was on Amazon, some of it I actually bought from previous students. So once you guys get kind of more in the hang of things, we have a SUNY housing page, and I actually ended up buying some of my furniture off of a previous student.
Where do you live now?
Right now I live in Astoria, Queens.
How much is your rent?
So I pay $1,100 a month right now. I'm in a 3-bed, 1-bath.
Who do you live with?
I live with 2 other first-year students, and it's really fun, 2 of the girls.
How did you find your roommates?
So the housing committee did a really great thing where they had these questionnaires that we went out and we posted about kind of like what our habits were and what our living situation or our budgets were like, and that's like how I met my 2 roommates.
Where are we now?
So right now we're in our first-year classroom. I'm sitting in the seat that I usually sit in. This is like my little workspace during class.
Can you tell me a little bit about your learning setup?
So usually when I study in class and take notes, I use my iPad. So a lot of students right now in our class are using iPads. I don't have the newest Pro, but I just have like one of their older iPad Pros. So I use that, and then I use also an Apple Pencil, and that's how I take notes.
What do you use to take notes in class?
So my Apple Pencil, and then I use Notability. So a lot of students in our class will either use Notability, which is about $10, or they will use OneNote, which is actually free through SUNY. So here's kind of like my setup. I have like for spring 2019 and then our different classes, and then I will just download the PDFs off of Moodle.
Does anyone take paper notes in class?
Yeah, there definitely still are a few paper note people. I know for sure one of the girls actually at the end of my row does, so I always make sure I grab a copy for her.
What kind of technology do professors use in class?
So one of the things that they use that's kind of interesting is Poll Everywhere. So sometimes certain professors, such as Dr. Madonna, will pull up some questions, and then you can use your phone or your computer device and answer questions online anonymously.
Do professors lecture capture?
Yeah, they do. So almost all of our professors record all of their lectures, and then you can watch it later on via Moodle. Some professors choose not to, and then some professors also will only lecture capture if a certain number of students are there.
Can you tell me a little bit about our professors this year?
So our professors are on the whole very cool. They all have pretty different styles and different personalities, so it's a lot of getting used to just each person's individualistic style, and I think the school definitely does a good job of letting everyone incorporate their own teaching style into what they are trying to give to all the students, so I think it's a pretty good experience.
Do you feel like the professors are pretty accessible outside of class?
Absolutely. So a lot of the professors have office hours, and if they don't have office hours, you can meet with them at any time. There are even ones that have open door policies, so anytime that they're in their office, you can go and see them. So they're very accessible via in person and via email as well.
What's behind you?
So this is our class calendar. So class council puts this on and sets it up every single month, so we have all of our information on there.
Can you tell me a little bit more about the lunch meetings for clubs?
Yeah, so for example, in this coming week, we have a NOSA and a COSA meeting. So like different clubs will put on lunch meetings, and they'll bring actually free food for us to eat.
How do you sign up to go to these clubs meetings?
So usually the club meetings, their own officers will send out emails to the entire school, and there'll be like Google forms that you sign up for to go to the meetings.
Are you involved in any clubs?
Yeah, so I'm part of the Private Practice Club as well as Lions Club, a volunteer organization, and then I go to a few other club meetings here and there as well.
Where are we heading now?
So right now we're on the first floor, and we're gonna head over to the elevators. So right now we're on the 3rd floor. There's one of our classmates, June. So every single student gets their own mailbox, and it's sectioned off by class. Right now, I'll just go over and show you mine. But a lot of times in the mailboxes, students will either get things that they bought like from the class, or sometimes professors will leave things in the students' mailboxes.
I liked it. She didn't like it.
Personally, I just use my mailbox as a little storage area. So here's my mailbox. And yeah, so I just have like some tea in there, but yeah, so that's what I have in my mailbox right now.
Are there places to store food or to heat up food?
Absolutely. So, sorry.
There's a new fridge that works. Yeah, the massive one.
Yeah, so now there's a new fridge that works. So we have 3 different refrigerators, this one, and I have this brand new one right here. Every morning I come store my food in here, and then we can use one of the different microwaves or one of the different toaster ovens to make our food.
Are there lockers on campus?
Yes, of course. We have so many things to store in our lockers. So this is our 3rd floor locker. So again, the lockers on the 2nd and the 3rd floor. So right now. So here's an example of one of the lockers.
What kind of things do you keep in your lockers?
So we have our blue coat, which you guys will get an order right before you come to school. We also have our equipment, as well as our like rentoscope and otoscope, so different fun things that you'll learn. Some Thin so people will store kind of like food and drinks and anything you can imagine. A lot of people also store like kind of like dress clothes in here as well.
What are some things we should be prepared to pay for once we get here?
So definitely the equipment. That is absolutely something that you have to be prepared for. You can probably spend anywhere between like $1,200 and $1,500 on that.
Do you have a job?
Yes, I do have a job. So right now I'm doing work study for the 6th floor.
What is work study?
So work study is a government-funded program that helps students just like make some money doing things around campus.
What are ways you use to de-stress?
So I personally really like to go to the gym. So here's our studio gym. So on this floor, in this area right here, there's all the cardio machines. And then there's also students that come and they work out in their classes and stuff like that.
Do most students use the gym here or in the city?
I think it's a mixture of both. So right now, I think because we have some free time, there are a lot of students using the gym, and then we also have like some new free weights now. And then there are also some machines and stuff like that over here as well.
Do you have a gym membership? And if so, how much does it cost?
Yes, I do have a gym membership right now. So I go to Blink Fitness, which is actually a location right in Bryant Park. It's a little under 30 a month right now.
Where are we headed now?
So right now we're going to go upstairs to the library.
Do students usually like to study in the library or off campus?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think for the students that live off campus, like really far, so the ones who like commute from Long Island and stuff like that, they definitely probably are more inclined to study at home, whereas the students who live closer, I think, tend to study more here.
How much time do you typically spend studying a day?
I think it varies per day, but probably around 4 to 7 hours a day.
What do you think the biggest challenge is while studying for school?
I think the biggest challenge is being able to just like focus on prioritizing what you have to do because you have so many different responsibilities at this time, and then also adjusting and accounting for each person's ability, each just like professor's ability to increase or decrease the difficulty of their class. So some certain classes definitely afford more time than others do.
What do you think is your most difficult class?
I think my most difficult class is probably clinical optometry, just because there's so many new skills to learn, and it's splitting my time between just the didactic stuff in the classroom and then also being able to master all these clinical skills is really difficult.
How are midterms and finals organized during the semester?
So as of right now, all of the midterms and finals happen over like a week and a half long period, and we just have a midterm season and a final season. So I know some schools might do it differently, where they have more than one midterm exam, or that it sometimes it's like split between different weeks, but for us it's all jammed into one for both the midterms and the finals.
Can you describe to me what the structure of the clinic is?
So right now we're on the 5th floor. So this is the vision rehabilitation floor. So this one has head trauma, low vision, and vision therapy. On the 6th floor is advanced care. So you have anything from retina, glaucoma, anterior segment, all those kinds of things. 7th floor is primary care, and 8th floor right now is contact lens and pediatrics.
What departments have been your favorite to shadow in so far?
I definitely think contact lens pediatrics and then some of the advanced care floor clinics such as retina and glaucoma have been really interesting.
What can you expect to experience as a first year in the clinic?
So as a first year in the clinic, you'll definitely be shadowing first and foremost every single week in your integrative seminar classrooms. So you get to shadow and explore all the different clinics, and at the same time, just be able to kind of get your feet wet, understand what it's like to be the intern, and also what kind of patients base you'll be seeing. Besides that, you also work as an optometric assistant.
Going up.
Can you tell me more about the optometric assistant program?
Yeah, so right now with the optometric assistant program, we are, it's about 6 hours every single semester, and you go into the 7th floor and you do the pre-testing for the patients that are on that floor for that day.
How do you usually dress up for clinic
Going
days?
up.
So for clinic days, you usually have to dress kind of in some sort of business casual clothes. You definitely don't have to be in a full suit, but for guys, it's expected to be a button-down shirt and tie and dress pants and dress shoes, and then for girls, either dress pants or like a dress skirt and then a blouse.
How many days do you dress up a week?
Going up.
Every week, I dress up at least 2 times a week. So for your clinical optometry lab and your integrative seminar labs, you have got to dress up for those.
Is the dress code strictly enforced?
For those lab days, it is pretty strictly enforced, but for the off days, I haven't exactly seen anyone get yelled at, so and everyone's pretty conservative in general though, about like the kind of clothes that they wear to school.
Is this where you typically practice your techniques?
Yes, this is. So right now we're on the 14th floor. This is our practice lab right now, although they're building a new one in the basement right now. So hey, this is Jared, and this is Kelly, and right now they're doing some practice right now, so I'm gonna, if you don't mind, just turn on the light.
What is the clinical optometry lab?
So in clinical optometry, you basically learn all the different skills you need to be able to practice on patients in the future. So for example, every pair gets a station. So this is not my station, but every pair gets a station, and you come into lab once every week for 3 hours, and you actually learn all the way through refraction in your very first semester, and we get to do a lot on the slit lamp this semester as well. So you'll be able to pretty much almost take care of an entire patient once your first year is over.
How are the lab classes structured? Is everyone in the same lab or?
So right now, our entire class of 100 is split into 4. So there's 24 or 26 people per lab just to make it even so everyone has a partner. And every person has a lab on a different day of the week.
What is your favorite technique you've learned in CO lab so far?
I would say the coolest thing I've learned is probably things on the slit lamp. I'd never really used one and looked into just like a slit lamp and looked into a person's eye before, so I definitely think it was like really interesting. So this is an example of one of our slit lamps. So this is a Zeiss. There's 2 different brands, the Zeiss and the Hogstrite. So this is like the slit lamp that I work on.
What are you most excited to experience in your first year?
Oh, there's so many fun events to do. So actually at the end of this week, we're having our very first eyeball for the first year students. And it's essentially just a really fun night to just dress up and hang out with all the different faculty and staff at a really nice venue.
What other exciting events can first years attend?
So like one of the big things the first semester is the Halloween party and the holiday party, where you have a chance to just dress up and let loose and get to know all the different people on campus. This semester we have Spirit Week, and we have actually our annual school-wide softball game where all the classes compete against each other, and we also have Vision Walk to go to.
What do you love most about SUNY?
I think the greatest thing about SUNY is all of the people that are in it. One thing that I didn't expect moving to New York was just how open and nice everyone would be, and the community is incredible, so I think that's definitely one of the best things about SUNY.
As a final question, what's the biggest piece of advice you can give to incoming first years?
Keep your eyes open and get involved. I think it's really easy to just think about school all the time and get stressed out, but I think the more you immerse yourself in the SUNY community and the more you get involved in just whether it's clubs, it's research, it's work study, it's just hanging out with people in your class, I think doing all those things is huge for your experience.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks.